back tonight with a Zeus Sunday special. It's not a Zeus Sunday special, but it's Zeus Sunday night, and we're here to sit in and let's enjoy Transforming Rollie here only on Zeus. Hey everybody, I'm back with another TV review. I'm back reviewing Transforming Rollie. This is episode 1 of Transforming Rollie, called Still Rollie. So the introduction basically starts with Rollie introducing herself as Goldie Martin. Of course, everybody knows her by Rollie Polly Smack Mills, which is the name that she got while she was on the show One More Chance. She also got another name while on One More Chance called the Underhanded Jab. I'm assuming because of her weight, and I guess the way that she probably is hitting because of her weight. I'm not sure. I didn't watch One More Chance, so I really don't know the meaning behind the name. But anyway, so moving on. Rollie basically states that she never let any of the names that she had been called over the years affect her, because it is what made her this big, confident woman that she is today. Always been a proud BBW, and that a few jokes basically will not change that about her. Rollie states that she is talented, saying she is an entertainer and that she's funny along with music to offer. Also says since working with Zeus, she's basically been prospering. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Rollie does bring a little entertainment to the center. She does. She can rap. She's good at rap. That's what she is. I don't know too much about being funny, but she's good at rap. I give her that. Also, she says since working with Zeus, of course we said that since working with Zeus, she's been prospering. However, she states that she is no longer naive and that she's very much aware of her weight and has become a health issue. She decided to go under the knife to be here for her son. Dad wasn't present. Rollie goes on to state that her dad wasn't present. Her mother basically was worried about her men, and states that her sisters had her dad, so she was always alone. And then she always suffered from depression. Rollie also says that she doesn't open up much about it because everyone sees her as strong, but states she goes through a lot when she's basically by herself, when she's not filming, which most of us do. She goes on to say she has been homeless and in shelters with her son. Rollie says God and her son is what keeps her going. She has confidence in herself. And when you have confidence in yourself, you can build up your dreams no matter what you go through. It's basically what Rollie said. That was her message, and it is a message. So moving on. Rollie also says, I don't think nothing is wrong with getting your ass snatched for the summertime. Okay. So she proceeds to say, I know what y'all all thinking. Why I just don't go my ass to the gym. We was thinking that. I'm not gonna lie, we was thinking that why you ain't go to the gym first and like drop a few pounds first. But you know, Rollie basically told us that she's gonna do it her way and ain't no other way. So moving on, Rollie and her booking manager Raina walked out of a building to the SUV where Rollie's bodyguard opens up the door for her. Rollie proceeds to say, that's exactly why I need my bodyguard here, so he can open up the door with his bald head ass. Rollie. Rollie, I ain't gonna lie, Rollie is funny sometimes, so I guess she do got a little comedy going on with it. Anyway, so Rollie says she is excited and that she has a lot of people in her corner supporting her, right? Raina expresses she's nervous for Rollie, and Rollie says she also is nervous and wouldn't be doing it with anybody else other than her booking manager. So the booking manager is like, oh, thank you. Like she just won an award or something. She just feels so, just so good in the inside. Like, oh, me out of all people? Anyway. So Rollie says she is nervous because she is scared of how she'll look. Rollie states she's nervous because she's scared of how she'll look. She also has been plus size damn near all her life and thinks she will go have a tummy tuck in 6 months if she doesn't decide to have a baby. But if she do decide to go ahead and have a little baby or whatever, she gonna wait to have that tummy tuck, is what she said. So we haven't seen the tummy tuck yet. I don't think I've seen the tummy tuck, so I'm assuming that she probably thinking about having her little baby. But anyway, moving on. So Rollie says they wanted her to lose weight. They, as in, I guess the health team that she had been working with. They wanted her to lose weight, so she lost a lot of the weight. And they were able to get, basically she had to lose the weight so that they are able to get all of the fat layers, basically. So she had to drop a few pounds first before going through with the surgery that she did. So whole time we out here talking about she should have been going through the gym and how she just goes straight to having the surgery. And her medical team basically already had her on the plan to lose the weight. Moving on. Rollie says she lost inches in her waist and in her face. Rollie was basically like, the belly gotta go, baby, the back fat got to go, and just come on, bring that ass on. Bring that ass on. Rollie says she would not be super petite. She still have a plus size body, which is important to her because she has been plus size since she was 11 years old. So she learned to love body despite bullying. She learned to love herself, basically, despite all of the bullying that she's endured over the years. And she states she still gets bullied now about her weight from TV and the blogs. it feels it won't change her and will still have the mentality of being a confident plus size woman, because that is who she has been at the end of the day. So Rollie is basically saying that having this surgery will not change who she is. Rollie has had the surgery, and I feel that Rollie definitely, well, first of all, Rollie already had, like, the whole Zeus thing went to her head already. Like, that already went to her head within itself, right? So I definitely think it has also gone to her head with the body, because it kind of gives now that Rollie seems to have forgotten that she had went through a surgery to look good. And she out here with the body shaming and the body bashing. Rollie. Let's roll it back in, love. Let's get it together. You look good, but we can't be out here body shaming everybody else now, and you done went and had a whole surgery. Moving on. So let me see you pop. So Raina says to Rollie she is going to be basically effing crazy, right? And Rollie all excited, and Rollie is like, I'm about to be at all the Freak Meek. So instantly all I think about is like the song by Luke from the Freak Meek documentary, like let me see you pop them things, shake them things through the ground, pop them things through the ground. It's like all I hear. It's like all I hear when I heard Rollie say that she was gonna be at all the Freak Meeks. But anyway, Rollie like, hide your husbands, because I'm out here stealing everybody, man, on sight. Rollie said she taking y'all man on sight. Okay, so Raina basically tells Rollie that she is out here being Mrs. Steal Your Man. And of course, all I could think of was I don't know rights to that music, but I just had to like put it in there because it was just like, that's all I could think about. But anyway, so Ashley from the doctor's office calls Rollie, and Ashley tells Rollie the doctor she's going to be seeing, who would be doing the procedure, is basically Dr. Z. But she also proceeds to tell her that Dr. V is the owner of the facility, and he won't be present until about 11, as Dave was flying in basically from Miami. I guess they were at the Miami location, so that maybe they had some surgeries or whatever at that location that they had to complete, or some things that they had to complete before coming to Rollie's procedure. So Ashley proceeds to tell Rollie that the doctors basically flew in just for her, and flew in just to meet her from the beginning, so that they could basically talk about the process from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. Okay? Anyway, so Rollie says, okay, thank you, Ashley. See you later. So they end the call from there. They like, bye. But anyway, moving on. While driving downtown Atlanta, Rollie is nervous, excited, and shocked, seems all at the same time. Like, and so Rollie says, I feel, and then she just stops in her track and is like, Lord Jesus. And Raina is like, what I miss? And Rollie is like, you can tell we definitely in Atlanta. She like, the guy basically is like tugging at his hairs, I guess, pulling his area out, his man areas, I guess. And again, all I could think of was, welcome to Atlanta where the plays play, and we ride on them things like every day. Anyway, don't listen to me. I don't know why the music was coming to me, but it was coming to me. But anyway. So Rollie basically is like, Lord Jesus, we definitely in Atlanta. And she basically tells Raina about the guy pulling down his pants or whatever like that. That's typically, I'm not gonna lie, typically in the city areas, you tend to literally see everything. Like, you tend to see some boobies hanging out, maybe some arse. You tend to see some people strung out. You might see somebody making love on the street in the city. You just never know. Everything in the city goes down. Anything goes down in the city. Literally anything. But anyway, so they still riding downtown Atlanta, and Rollie is checking her phone. I'm assuming it's her social media sites that she's checking. And she's excited about how much love she's receiving while going through her procedure right now. So Raina asks her, what are the people saying? And so Rollie goes ahead and reads one of her supporters' comments, and she says, today is the day, baby. Love you, and I can't wait to see your bomb-ass results. Oh. Anyway, so Rollie says she is excited because she has a lot of supporters. She has a lot of supporters in her corner. So she's very excited about this procedure. She's feeling confident about this procedure, that she's going to make it through, and she won't have any issues because of all of her supporters. So they pull up at the plastic surgeon's office. Rollie says that her mom and her son called her. Rollie calls her son back, David, and he's basically still sleeping. It's probably still morning wherever he's at, probably noon we know how the teens do their sleeping. So he's still asleep. She called him. She basically just called him back just to let him know that she had made it to the doctor's office basically, and that she was going in for her procedure. Her son says okay, and that he loves her. She also says that she loves him back, and they're in the call. Okay, Rollie and Raina heads into the doctor's office. And they were given some documents, of course, to fill out and sign. You know the process. Every time we go to the doctor's office, we know this process. Rollie sits down, basically calls her mom back, and also lets her mom know that she made it to the doctor's office and is in the lobby waiting for her doctors to arrive. And tells her mom surgery starts about 1 p.m. Rollie tells her mom, wish your daughter luck. I'm going to come back with a snatched body. Rollie mama basically was like, I ain't got to wish you no luck. You're going to be all right. It's a black motherfucker. You're just going to be all right. Anyway, so Rollie laughs and hangs up with her mom. And she's basically like, all right, mommy, I'll talk to you in a minute. They end the call. Bye. Rollie chuckles and says that she loves messing with her mom. She is just glad she has people supporting her, basically. She's just ecstatic that she has all of these supporters, which is a big thing when you're going through any type of surgery, because you don't know if you're going to come back from any of it. So it's a good thing that, yeah, she did have some supporters in her corner, and especially the people who mattered the most, such as her mom and her son. So moving on, Rollie proceeds to show Raina some of the ideal bodies that she wants. She shows her a picture of Curvy Chrissy, explaining that she is more taller, of course, so of course she could have more weight below. And she's like, and Raina's pointing at the picture like, this is it. She's basically like, look at that stomach. Basically like, look at how snatched she is. And Rollie says, give me all that. Like, Rollie wants all of it. The ass, the flat stomach, all of it. The hips, take all the flabber, whatever else away is basically what Rollie is saying. So Rollie says, I hope I have some hips. I ain't never really checked. And they both laughing. And I'm just like, because Rollie, why don't you know that if you don't have hips in that, Rollie girl? Why you don't know? But anyway, Rollie proceeds to check to see if she has hips. Rollie examines herself and says, bitch, I ain't got no hips. Rollie is really like, how you got all this ass and no hips? Rollie is just like disbelief. And she's basically like, I don't know. I can't explain it. But doc, do me up, basically. So Ashley from the plastic surgeon's office approaches Rollie and Raina. She greets the ladies, they shake hands, they hug, expressing how nice it is to finally meet each other. Ashley asks Rollie, how is she? Rollie says she's good, and then asks if she's excited about the surgery. Rollie says she is, as this is something she has been wanting to do, such as changing herself up to a look. She says she is ready, such as changing herself up to look a little different, especially with her being on TV, especially with her being on the television. As she feels it'll be something better for her to present to her fans to show them the new her. Ashley proceeds to say, well, I do think it'll be great because the fans get to see the whole transformation. Ashley tells Rollie the next step is to take her back to the consultation with Dr. V, the owner of the practice, before taking her to begin her surgery. So Ashley takes Rollie through the back office to meet with Dr. V, and Rollie is ecstatic as Dr. V stands to greet and shakes her hand. Dr. V asks Rollie, is she excited or nervous? Rollie says both. Dr. V says he likes when people are nervous because it lets him know now the patients have some level of understanding that they are coming for a procedure with a procedure. So I guess that means they come in to have a procedure. Right, it is a procedure with a procedure because she definitely did a liposuction where they sucked the fat and then turned her over and inserted the fat. So that's what that is. So anyway, where were we? They were coming for a procedure with a procedure. So Dr. V then asks Rollie if she has any questions. Rollie says that she understands her procedure is being done in sections, but when will she be able to go for her back? Dr. V tells Rollie she has to understand and be realistic, meaning it will take a lot of fat, a lot of bulk of the fat at the moment while they are there. And since they are doing the BBL, it'll possibly be about 2 to 3 months before they get to the back, basically, because she has to heal. So Rollie is excited. She's ecstatic. She's just ready for this procedure to basically take place so she can start seeing some results. She's like, okay, Dr. V continues to explain. He just doesn't want the body to go through any extra stress, basically. And Rollie says yes. And the doc is like, not you personally, but the body. The body has to heal, and it takes a little time, as his goal is to allow the body to heal before doing any other surgery. So yeah, that part is also important. You do have to allow the body to heal. And she did have, again, 2 procedures. She had a lipo, removing the fat, and then she had the, whatever we call the second part, where they add the fat. So yeah, she definitely definitely have to let the body heal, especially the way Dr. Z was in there jugging. Dr. Z was like, Anyway, Rollie says she wants to make sure her health is good because she wants to still be here for the long. She knows the older she gets, the harder it is for her to lose the weight. Doc says, yes, that is another thing. By reducing those pieces of fat and actually helping her mobility, now the body will look and feel different. Doc further explains she will be able to move better and will be able to do certain things that was probably harder for her to do before. Rollie, laughing about her situation, basically says, because I can't run right now. She basically was like, I get tired as soon as I take off. So Dr. V is basically like, he's glad that she's really positive about her situation, and proceeds to explain to Rollie that even though it is a surgical procedure, this is not a surgery, meaning she does not have to be held after this procedure is done. She can go. So he says no one is going to cut and open up any stitches or nothing like that will be happening, but does reassure Rollie that they will be doing some marking. I'm not sure if they say marketing or marking, and I'm saying marketing because I know they be marketing and putting everything on social media, but then at the same time I've seen them for the most part marking. So I'm just gonna say that they was doing some marketing and marking. Okay, anyway, so he reassures Rollie that they will be doing some marketing and marking. All right, once they're done with that, then they will proceed to the procedure room and begin. So Doc says okay. Rollie says, okay, let's rock and roll. And Rollie is basically like, yeah, baby, let's rock and roll. I love it. They excited, ready to get it over with. So Dr. V tells Rollie, just follow me, as he leads her to the procedure room. They enter the room as Dr. V introduces Dr. Z, hands over Rollie's chart, and then Rollie is greeted by Dr. Z and what seems to possibly be the nurse. The nurse, maybe. There's a couple of people in the room. There is Dr. Z, who is the attending surgeon. And then it looks like there is someone named Kiana in the room. Of course, Ashley. And another woman named Miriam, who seems to possibly be the nurse. But I'm not really sure. Don't know none of these people's titles. I'm just calling, letting you know who is all in the room. That is all. So Miriam proceeds to hand Rollie nipple covers to cover her nips for the marking video. Rollie laughs and is like, oh man, I can't show them. And no, Rollie. No, we don't want to see your nips, baby. Cover the nips, Rollie. We don't want to see them. Cover up them nips. Anyway, they are going to bring you. So Ashley explains that they're about to bring Rollie to the back so they can go ahead and start marking her. All right, they're about to go ahead and just start this whole marking process. So Dr. Z will mark on her to show her where she will be taking from her body and adding to the body. So basically, Dr. Z is going to mark the spots where they will be working to remove fat and to add the fat. Get me? That's what's going on. So Rollie says, Ashley tells Rollie no more sitting on that butt for up to 6 weeks. Rollie is like, oh no, not no sitting on the butt. Ashley says, yes ma'am. No booty. No sitting on no booty. No laying on that butt. Nothing but laying on the stomach. And Rollie laying there like a sad child. And she's like, okay, all belly. So Ashley further explains to Rollie and Raina how they will provide her a booty pillow, but they don't want her to use the booty pillow until she's about 2 weeks post-op surgery. She also explains to Rollie will also have to feed that fat in the butt, meaning though they know she's on a semaglutide, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but let's do medical lessons with V. So semaglutide is basically Ozempic to lose weight faster. Basically, it's medicine that they give to type 2 diabetics that help them with keeping their weight in order, basically balance, keeping their weight balanced, or losing the weight that they need to lose. So basically, they had her on a semaglutide, which is Ozempic, that to help her lose the weight faster so that she was able to go forward and start her process for her procedure. And that is medical terms with V. So moving on. And that she doesn't have an appetite. So although she's on the semaglutide, she doesn't have an appetite. Now she will have to make sure she is eating to feed the fat in the booty. So basically, when they add that fat in the butt, you got to feed that fat. Got to take care of that fat, basically. So that's what the people is telling her. Ashley tells Rollie, you will come in tomorrow and get drained as well as her post-op aftercare. Ashley says she will have everything squared away for her. Rollie is laughing nervously as Raina is helping her with her hospital gown. Raina says, so the bra is out of here? Is out of there? Rollie tosses the bra to Raina and is like, that's done. Completely done. Completely done, saying these things, referencing her tiggle bitties, need to get reduced real quick. And Rollie says she is over them tiggle watermelons, basically. She is over the water sacks, the water jugs that she is carrying on her chest. She says she over it. And she's basically like, Doc, I'm going to need you to go ahead and take out whatever it is needed to be taken out, because the tickle bitties, they got to go. So Ashley tells Dr. Z and Miriam will take her back to do her numbing, that they're about to basically take her back to do her numbing. Miriam says, all right, and asks Rollie, is she ready? Rollie says, yes. Miriam tells Rollie, take it right here, then go straight to the marking room. So Rollie is nervous, basically, right? And she walks into the marking room with Miriam. And Miriam is like on her back or whatever, directing her to the marking room. So they roll up in the marking room or whatever, where they are basically greeted by Dr. Z, Dr. Zemelak, aka Dr. Z. Again, I don't know if I said her name right, but I do hope that I did. I'm not trying to chop it up, but it looks like Zemelak, spelled Zemlyak. Dr. Zemelak, Dr. Z. Basically, Dr. Z is the attending surgeon, and she is the one who will be performing this procedure. So Dr. Z gets right to it, tells Rollie, okay, let's remove that gown. Rollie removes the gown and her mic and steps onto the little picture setup thing that Dr. Z got set up for them to do their marketing. And asks Rollie, saying, so are we doing the abdomen? I'm so sorry. So Dr. Z has Rollie remove the gown. Rollie removes the gown and her mic. Dr. Z proceeds to ask Rollie, so are we doing the abdomen and the BBL today? Rollie confirms that, of course, that is what is taking place today. So it then goes on to show Dr. Z discussing with Rollie about her abdomen area indistinctly. We can't hear what's being said, but we can tell that she's discussing her abdomen area with her as she's lifting up the belly fat and everything, and basically telling her what she's about to do, how it's going to work. But again, it's indistinctly, so we don't hear it. So Dr. Z proceeds to draw or mark from the center between Rollie's breasts down to the bottom of her stomach. So she basically marks from under here on down to the bottom of Rollie's stomach, basically. It then goes from the bottom to her stomach, then has Rollie lift her breasts. So then Rollie lifts her breasts so that Dr. Z is also able to mark vertical lines underneath the breast from underneath the top of the breast, of course, down to the bottom of her stomach on both sides again. So we then see Dr. Z lift the bottom of Rollie's belly, drawing a horizontal line across Rollie's bikini line, along with marking Rollie's sides vertically. So Rollie turns around as Dr. Z explains she is taking a look at her buns. Telling her she is going to mark the middle of her back, Rollie says okay, and Dr. Z draws a straight line from the top of Rollie's neck, literally from the top of Rollie's neck all the way down to the bum of her crack. Then marks her across the top of her bum cakes, along with marking circles on each of her cheesecakes. Dr. Z says, okay, we done with marking. Do you have any questions for me about the procedure? And Rollie says, no, let's get started, because she is ready for this procedure. So Miriam basically tells Rollie she will need to hold her breasts all the way up as she proceeds to snap photos, right? So she's snapping photos in so she's taking pictures basically like before the procedure and everything starts. And it just felt like Miriam had Rollie basically like after taking her mugshot, getting stripped down to basically go in lockdown. So Miriam got Rollie in her like she about to get locked up. She like, turn this way. Lift your arm up, roll it like this. And Miriam is like, exactly. She like, now face the wall, arm straight out. Okay, we got it. I don't know about y'all, but I thought Miriam was about to be like, now turn over and bend over. I don't know. It just seemed like it was a scene in a movie where Rollie was arrested and, you know, she was had to do the strip search and the mugshot and all that. That's just what came to my mind. I don't know why. Anyway. So they're done with the mugshots. Rollie like might as well take that mic because she is not about to keep dragging it around in her buns. Basically, Rollie goes back to the room with Miriam and Raina to put on her gown. To put her gown back on, Miriam proceeds to tell Rollie that they will go down the hallway. Rollie heads to the procedure room where she is once again greeted by Dr. Z and the staff. Once again, the staff is Dr. Z. There is Ashley in the room, Kiana, and there was Miriam. Those were the four staff that were basically working with Dr. Z to help make Rollie feel comfortable and make her experience feel smooth and, you know, feel like it went by smooth and quick. So Dr. Z tells Rollie she can remove her gown and lay on the operating table face down, and tells her they are about to start numbing the buns. Dr. Z tells Rollie to scoot up on the table more, and Rollie does just that. And the knees. Rollie was asked to scoot up on the operating table, and she did just that. And for me, it was the knees. All I seen was like a wall. Oh, forgive me. Oh, please forgive me. Everybody's beautiful. Moving on. So Rollie is positioned. Rollie is positioned correctly now on the operating table so that they're able to begin the procedure. So Ashley tells Rollie she doesn't need the panty drawers no more. So Ashley basically removes the panty drawers. She just tears them off. And Rollie is like, oh no, don't film my vagina. And I'm just like, for real, like the way she snatched the panty drawers off that girl, it's like, man, I am worth more. The way she snatched those panty drawers off that girl. But anyway, so Ashley explains to Rollie she will be spraying a cold substance, which is betadine. That they will be spraying throughout her procedure, just around her bun cakes, to prevent any infections during the procedure. Rollie says, I think this is the same stuff they used when I had my C-section. Yeah, Rollie, it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. It's the same brown stuff that they use for any procedure or surgery. Yeah. But that's okay. It's okay. And it is to prevent infection. Yes, Rollie, it's the same stuff. Anyway, so now they have that ass anti-infection ready. Dr. Z brings out the needles, baby. Rollie like, oh no, is these shots in my ass gonna hurt? Everyone lies to Rollie basically and says no in sync, like it's a cult or choir. It's like, no, you will be just fine. You will be great. Just lay there, relax. You will be okay. That's how they sounded. That's how they sounded to me. But anyway, so Dr. Z says, first thing I'm going to do is give her some little tiny shots. Dr. Z explains she's going to give those little tiny shots with those little tiny needles, telling Rollie the shots will feel like little mosquito bites and that it will numb the skin. Dr. Z, so basically the little tiny needles that was being injected into the skin, into Rollie's skin, is what's going to numb just, I guess, the outside of the skin. So Dr. Z proceeds to start numbing the skin, telling Rollie that the numbing medicine is going to go through the fat in her buttocks. So Doc was sticking Rollie like she was injecting a little turkey or a roaster or something. I'm just saying, Doc was doing a little pokey a little too hard, in my opinion. But hey, moving on. All them sticks. And Ashley like, Ashley like, you gonna get that Rolls Royce. So first of all, hold on. Let me talk about how Ashley just gaslights the piss out of Rollie this whole procedure. She just straight gaslights the piss out of Rollie. Ashley tells Rollie that she see that Rollie gonna have that Rolls Royce back there. And I'm like, a Rolls Royce? The gaslighting? So Dr. Z pulls out what looks like a much bigger needle, okay, and tells Rollie that she is about to start injecting some deep numbing medicine, all right, that will go all the way into the fat in her buns to numb her completely, and tells her she will feel some burning and the pressure from the medicine being injected. Dr. Z tells Rollie it will be unpleasant and to just try to relax and take slow, deep breaths. That big needle that Dr. Z came out with, that looked like it's about the size of this pen, that she was injecting that girl with the numbing medicine with, did not look pleasant at all. But I just feel like the needle without the medicine is unpleasant. Am I the only one? Because the needle was definitely needling. And then to feel the medicine in the muscle of your butt. Y'all ever had a shot in your butt, a shot in your ass? And when that medicine reaches the muscle in your ass and how that shit just burns, it makes you crawl all the way up on the wall in the doctor's office. Baby really took that like a G. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, so Ashley tells Rollie the numbing process is the worst part. She didn't gaslight her right there. She told her the truth right there, all right? So while Ashley is being of support to Rollie, holding her hands through the process, tells Rollie, you don't worry about harming me. If you need to squeeze, squeeze. She also tells Rollie not to push out, but squeeze, as she may feel some pain. All right? So Rollie is feeling the medicine as Dr. Z is injecting the medicine. Rollie says it feels weird as she proceeds to laugh, and she must have felt a little tickle. So Doc is like, laughing is good, and she moves over to the other side of the cheek. They complete the numbing process. They complete numbing the buns and have Rollie turn over. Rollie is feeling the effects of the numbing medicine, and she says that she's basically hot like a mother. Shut your mouth. while calling on the good Lord's name, saying she about to go ahead and snatch the wig off. All right, Rollie, I'm so glad you did not go ahead and snatch the wig off, my girl. Okay, because the wig was needed in the part of this procedure. It was needed, and we didn't want to see you without it during that procedure, because I think during the procedure, I think we've seen a lot, and it just would have been too much if you would have went ahead and snatched that wig off. So I'm really glad that you thought against snatching that wig off and kept that wig laying on down. All right, so moving on, Rollie gets up and she turns over on her back and she expresses how weird that was having the medicine injected in her buns. So Rollie on her back, they do the same routine basically. Spray her big ass down with that betadine all over her belly and underneath that belly. The doc gets to numbing the process again. Rollie feeling the pressure of the medicine being injected, but she's actually doing good and taking it like a G, to be honest with you. So Rollie proceeds to feel the most pain on her left side, bottom of her stomach, where Dr. Z was injecting medicine, as they basically tell her that that's her sensitive side, while comforting Rollie, telling her that she is doing phenomenal. All right, so Ashley then tells Rollie they're done and she did it like a G. She did, explaining that they just injected 6 bags of fluid in her, almost like when the IV is done. Rollie's reaction is like, wow. So Ashley continues to explain to Rollie that they are going to put a cover over the top of her. So they proceed to put the blanket over her, which is a fluffy gray blanket. I'm not sure if this blanket had other medications in it, I guess. Such as like something for numbing. I really don't know. I really don't know what the purpose of the blanket was, honestly. But I'm just assuming that it probably had some type of numbing something in the blanket, on the blanket, simply because when Dr. V came in, he basically was like, how they were going to hold that section of the blanket, let it sit a little bit longer. So they kind of led me to kind of assume that maybe the blanket was medicated. I don't know. Don't hold it to me though, because I don't know. But anyway, so Ashley continues to explain to Rollie. Okay, no. They talk about the gray blanket, and we actually see Rollie in tears. We see Rollie in tears as they tell Rollie to just relax, because I guess at this point she's actually really feeling, her body's probably sore now. She's feeling the pain from the injections of the numbing medication, basically. So they tell Rollie to relax and don't fight it, because fighting it makes it worse. I'm not sure what it was she was fighting. I don't know. They did not explain that any further, but they basically told her to go ahead and relax. So we got Raina over here peeping in the door talking about Dr. V coming. And Ashley says, who would have thought with everything we see on Zeus, y'all get to see a BBL? Ashley, I just want to be the one to say that we done seen everything on Zeus already. All right, we done seen it all on Zeus. Zeus exploits it all. Okay, when Zeus first started, Zeus showed every inch of the body, even inside. We seen all the reproductive system with Zeus. All right, not just that, we done already seen. First of all, we done seen y'all and Dr. Miami performing multiple surgeries on live on social media. Like, this ain't new. This is not like, oh wow, we're seeing procedures on national TV for the first time. This ain't that, Ashley. This ain't that. But I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna rain on your parade too much. Anyway, so Rollie says, oh, whole BBL. Okay. Finally, something that's worth watching. Let's fight this fact, is what Rollie says. So Rollie says, well, everything is worth watching on Zeus, but when it comes to me, yeah, they gonna watch it. And watching. Anyway, Dr. V then walks into the operating room, asks Rollie how is she doing. Rollie says she's okay, and Dr. V jokes that they put some goodies in there, huh? She says, she laughs. Dr. V proceeds to gently press down on her abdomen that is covered with the blanket. Excuse me, y'all. Basically, so Dr. V basically proceeds to press down on Rollie's abdomen with the heating blanket, telling Rollie that they are going to hold that part of the area where he presses down a little bit with the anesthesia. See? So that's why I feel like that blanket must be, I guess, anesthesia. Anyway, so he said, let it soak a little bit and they will get to the suctioning. Further explaining that they are going to start the flex scalp procedure in about 10 to 15 minutes. He also says that it's a surgical procedure, but not a major procedure. Ashley tells Rollie the day after the procedure, she will be up and moving around as if she didn't just have a procedure. She says, you will be a little sore, but that's just because of course, the injecting and all that extra stuff. But besides all of that, you can't sit on that ass. Basically, is what she tells her. And Rollie says, I can't sit on his ass. And everybody's laughing. Ashley proceeds to tell Rollie she is going to have to use her upper body strength to get up. And Rollie is like, so I got to push up? Ashley says, got to push up. And Rollie, again, calling on the good Lord. Like, this man is busy, girl. He is busy. Stop calling that man for your shenanigans. Calling on that man's name. Calling on the good Lord. Talking about some oh Jesus. Stop calling that man's name. Talking about oh Jesus. Stop calling that man's name. Anyway. So Rollie then states, so basically Rollie starts giving the left and the right arm a pep talk, okay? She basically like, I'm gonna need y'all to come through for a sister, all right? When it's time for me to go ahead and use y'all for my upper body to put all this good big bone healthy weight up is what I'm gonna need. And I'm gonna need y'all to not fold on me. Basically is what she said to her arms, and her arms was basically like, all right, girl. Like, we got you, girl. We got you. We got you. So now finally they ready to start the procedure. Finally. Because, girl, this, thank you. We here. We see Dr. Z getting geared up in her PPE. She got her personal protective equipment on. She got her operating gown on, her hat, her face mask, and her gloves. Dr. Z didn't come to play with you, baby, at all. Dr. Z didn't come to play. So, looks like they are starting with removing the fat from Rollie's stomach first. So, they have Rollie basically laying on her back. And they are spraying her down, once again, with the betadine. Dr. Z is getting the tubes ready to be hooked up to the machine for sucking the fat. Dr. Z pulls out the needle, this machine that she's basically using to suck the fat, as she explains to Rollie that the machine vibrates. And Dr. Z just goes in, starting at the bottom, from the bottom, right of Rollie's stomach, and she just jugging. And it's like, how are y'all not hitting anything? Just a jugging. Anyway, so we see the fat being sucked and falling into a tube. And Ashley is like, look at all that liquid gold coming out. Ashley with the gaslight. Ashley, the gaslighter. Look at all that liquid gold coming out. Ashley. Rollie is like, ooh, I feel this all in my cooch. Rollie. Ashley, oh, Rollie, this is going to be a big old butt. I don't think it can take all that fat. The manipulation that is going on in this room is at an all-time high. Because Rollie, girl, I don't think you gonna be able to take all that fat and that fat. She like, Rollie, you got a lot while they laughing and rapping Trina. I got an ass so big like the sun. Ashley says, booty so big you can see it from the front and the back. And Rollie proceeds to say she wants somebody blind ass granddaddy to see that ass. Rollie, and Ashley, I need y'all to stop this. At this point, Rollie must be feeling pain as Ashley tells her to squeeze, that she is there to help her with her journey, stating that removing the fat feels like a tattoo. They show the jar of fat, and Ashley tells Rollie it's been 2 liters of fat that's been taken out of her already, right at 2,000. That's a lot. They remove the first liter in the jar, switch it out with an empty jar, and then reconnect the machine to proceed sucking more fat. So Ashley, gassing Rollie up, telling her she is doing phenomenal, while Dr. Z is just plunging in that stomach. She just a going, okay? Just a going. Anyway, Rollie is feeling pain on her sensitive side, and Ashley tells her it is okay to hold her hand while she comforts her. Ashley says, this is why I wanted you to come to Atlanta, so you can see what will be going on and who will be working on you. Rollie thanks the team and tells them that they are doing a good job, and the team basically returns the kind gesture to Rollie. Ashley tells Rollie, when we do the back, it will be different, but the back will be done on another day, of course. She says once those 6 weeks pass and then booty cakes has been able to heal, she says, Rollie laughing, they're like, why does this feel so good? Basically, Rollie is on the table getting jugged by Dr. Z and asking at the same time, why does it feel so good? And me and Ashley clutches our pearls and we're like, not feel good, Rollie. Rollie, like this lady is like jugging the piss out of you. I'm talking like, it looked like she's stabbing the piss out of her. Anyway, Ashley says you can see the difference in the stomach already, Rollie girl, on the people's table, giggling, talking about it feels good, it tickle. Ashley says they got to look out for this Rollie with the new baddies. Dr. Z like, yup. Again, straight gassing Rollie, okay? They are done with the liposuction, telling Rollie she did great. Dr. Z spraying her medical tools with the betadine. Basically, they're getting ready to flip Rollie over on her stomach. And so Dr. Z is basically disinfecting the tools that she just used on Rollie with the betadine. So Miriam comes in to assist Rollie with turning over on her stomach. Miriam places a pillow under Rollie's stomach. So here's the thing. like I said, there was a couple of people in the room, right? That was Miriam, Kiana, Ashley, and then Dr. Z. Now, I'm saying that this was Miriam who came to help Rollie turn over, but I really think this was the Kiona or the Kiana girl. I'm not really sure. So don't hold me to the names, y'all, because I had got kind of confused. So I think this was Kiana or Kiona who came to assist Rollie to help her roll over, right? So she came along to go ahead and assist Rollie with turning over on her stomach. And Rollie talking about she need a man to help her get up. I'm like, Rollie, girl, if you don't get them big ass buns up, girl, and stop playing with the people. Anyway, Miriam places a pillow under Rollie's stomach, basically underneath her bladder, telling Rollie the next part is going to be quick. 1, 2, 3. All right. So for this part, it looks like Rollie is face down, buns up. Miriam or Kiana, whichever one, they explain that she can't kick, flinch, or move because the fat will basically squirt out if she tenses up. So Dr. Z proceeds to spray more betadine all over them big buns and proceeds to inject the fat that was taken from Rollie's stomach into her left butt cheek. Dr. Z goes over to the right side of the cheek and starts inserting the fat, and Rollie is really feeling the pain that she is cursing out loud, talking about how bad it hurts. Well, I guess so. You was just on the people's table giggling, talking about it tickle, and it feels good. And now you're up in here causing a ruckus in these people's room with all that cussing and all that hollering, girl. I guess it does hurt. Anyway, so they're in the room like she ain't even doing nothing. And Rollie was just like, oh. like, oh. like, Rollie, what you faking? What you faking for the camera, Rollie? Because the people say the lady wasn't even doing that, Rollie. Let me find out what you was putting on. Anyway. So Dr. Z proceeds inserting fat at the top of Rollie's back. And they like, Rollie, you squirted on the camera guy. Rollie says, good. I hope he like it. Poor cameraman. Because I would have been grossed out. Like, oh. I'd have had to clock out, call off, whatever it is. I would have had to do it. If any of that mayonnaise would have squirted on me. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, Ashley says, the end. You are done. Finally, she is done. Ashley and Rollie thank Dr. Z. Rollie is relieved at this point. So Ashley says, ooh, Rollie, you got a real BBL, a big BBL, girl. She like, girl, look at my BBL, girl. She like, look at this girl. So while showing Rollie her ass hiked up in the air, Ashley says, all them big old cakes. Ashley. She said, all them big old cakes. Rollie all excited, looking at the video in disbelief how round her buns are now. She like, I can't believe how round they are now. She like, cause I remember I used to have dents right there. So yeah, she was all excited about seeing the video of her results and everything. And with her being hiked up on the table like that with her ass in the air, it looked like you could see some results. But I feel like even after they left out of the office, I feel like I didn't see no roundness. But okay. So Keon, so now I know for sure that this is Keon, all right, because her name came up on the thing, so now I know for sure this is Keon. So Keon tells Rollie that she needs for her to make sure she takes a shower with lukewarm water, antibacterial soap such as Dow or some Dawn that also has an antibacterial soap that is really mild and won't be harsh on her skin or her wounds. She then tells Rollie, do not submerge in the water, just shower and come out. Rollie says okay. While Rollie is talking about there is a lot of wagging in the back, no one other than Miss Nunn calls on the FaceTime. Rollie is like, Natalie! Y'all know how loud as hell he be. Natalie! And Natalie like, Rollie! Anyway, and they yelling at each other through the FaceTime call or whatever. And Rollie says, girl, this ass is fatter than a mother. Natalie laughs and asks Rollie if she likes her results. Rollie says yes and proceeds to lift her boobs to show Natalie her stomach. Rollie basically showing her stomach all talking about she's snatched. Okay? Snatched. And then nothing. You could tell Rollie did it. Anyway, so she's showing off her stomach or whatever. Natalie asks if she had to be drugged. And Rollie says no, but she was numb and that it was the easiest experience that she has been through. Natalie says, how long is the downtime? Rollie proceeds to tell Natalie her downtime is 6 to 7 weeks. Ashley instantly corrects Rollie and says, no, your downtime is 6 to 8 weeks for that butt. You can't sit on that butt for 6 to 8 weeks. But your overall healing time is only 2 days, where she basically will be back to moving around and doing everything again. Like she never had a procedure. Basically what she told her when, before they started. So Rollie was like, oh, 2 days, bitch. Now I got a fat ass and some hips. I got a fat ass and some hips. Basically is what Rollie is saying. She excited now. So then Rollie is supposed to be on the phone with Miss Nunn. But then we get a shot of this whole ass man on the FaceTime string being blurred out. I'm talking a whole man, full blown beard and everything. So I'm trying to figure out what scene are we on? Who we talking to? Because y'all showing us that she's talking to Natalie, but we seeing a whole man with a full blown beard on this FaceTime call. Is it me? I don't know. But I need some answers. Anyway, so then we see Rollie showing the bandaged post-op body on the FaceTime. Well, we now cut to her and Natalie actually being on the FaceTime call together. And Natalie is in her bed, child, well, bonnet on, just chilling, okay? What I'm trying to be like, make my millions and be able to be in my bed with my bonnet on, just chilling. That's what I'm looking forward to. So basically I'm trying to figure out, Zeus, Rollie, or Natalie, whichever one can answer this question for me. Who that man was you was on the phone with that y'all was trying to make us believe was Natalie. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. Rollie says I have to put my diaper on. Not the diaper. Let me tell you, I ain't wore a diaper in 12 years. Since I had my baby. Yeah. A diaper. Yeah. When you think about it, it's like I really had on a diaper. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Anyway, so Rollie hangs up with Natalie as the other ladies are helping Rollie get dressed. Kenyon comes back and tells Rollie she will get her fascia tomorrow and her drainage. Now, a fascia or fascia is basically like the little undergarments that they be having on after the surgery, like the little snug fitting garment that zips up. That's basically gonna keep them intact and snatched after that surgery, basically. So as they're walking out of the procedure room, Keon says no heavy lifting or bending, no strenuous exercise, but be sure to follow the diet on the post-op instructions. So then they lead Rollie into another room to take her post-op vitals. Then Keon tells Rollie to go ahead and follow her discharge papers, and they send her on her way. It's over with now. You're good. You're done. You're good to go. Rollie goes through the office thanking everyone involved for making her procedure smooth and a quick process. So they finally leave the plastic surgeon's office and are at the truck trying to figure out how they're about to transport Big Mama. Rollie talking about she's not messing up her arse, which still appears to me square and flat. But I guess the arse ain't been rounded yet. Anyway, nobody got a plan, all right? Because now we out here after the surgery and they got this black SUV, right? And nobody took the time to think that will she need a step stool to help her get into the truck? Like nobody thought this out is what I'm saying. Nobody thought this out. So basically, like, everybody is standing around the truck trying to figure out how they about to get her in the truck. And Rollie is like just standing around, basically ain't making it no better. She just standing around with her phone in her hand on live talking to everybody about the surgery, and everybody else in the background basically like running around with like a chicken with their head cut off trying to find her a stool to get Big Mama into the back of the SUV. So finally somebody comes with a step stool, helps Big Mama get in the truck. They scared to lift her from the back because her surgery or whatever. And Rollie basically like, if you don't grab this ass, Rollie like, I guess they finally got her in there on her stomach. They close the truck and then they drive off. Finally. So Rollie is on the phone with Miss Cat from BGC. And they're basically discussing the negative comments that Rollie got from social media, such as how she should have started with the gastric sleeve first. And Rollie is like, no. She basically like, while saying she hates judgmental people who are hating because they aren't able to get what she is getting and don't know that the procedure she's getting, you don't always have to have the gastric bypass sleeve first, just to see the results that you want, basically. And Rollie is like, people gonna talk. And I'm just like, it's true. It's just like people is. They gonna talk. They judgmental. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing good, they gonna talk. If you're doing bad, they gonna talk. So it really don't matter. So Rollie says, I'm tripping about whose man I'm finna take in Miami. Raina tells Kat, I done already told her she meant to steal your man now. Kat says, hide your man. Rollie says, hide your sons, baby, because I'm coming for the sons. So they laughing, and Miss Kat is basically like, she gonna call them back. They love each other or whatever. Bye. Rollie sits up on all fours and realizes that she is bleeding through her clothes and her padding. She also states that she's in pain and she needs her pain pills. Talking about she can't wait for all her haters to see her results. Rollie says when she dropped them clothes, only thing that will be fake is that arse and that y'all should know what we're talking about here. Rollie then states, although she has been bashed for being a big girl, she is a healthy big girl, stating she was approved for her procedure not only by Goals but by her doctor as well. So Rollie basically telling y'all had all that to say right? Because she basically like, y'all had all that to say about me and me getting my surgery and why I didn't do this and why I didn't do that and how I didn't have to do this and how I didn't have to do that. And she basically like, y'all all up in my business, and I gotta prove, I gotta pass, not only from goals, but my doctor as well. My doctor said I am healthy, and my doctor said I could go ahead and have my surgery, my little procedure, so I could snatch my body on you hoes. That's basically what Biggie said. Not Biggie, wrong person. That's basically what Rollie had said. And that's that. Okay? So Rollie basically like everybody need to go ahead and just stay out her motherfucking business, okay? At the end of the day. Because don't nobody know what they be talking about. That's what Rollie had said. This is Rollie. I'm channeling my Rollie. Alright? So then Rollie says, because I'm just tired of explaining myself to people, as no one knows what I go through. Nobody don't know what I go through when I'm by myself. That's what she said. She says, don't bash me. She said, you here to support. Then do just that. Support me. Don't you bash me. But all the negative comments, y'all can miss me with that. Alright? Then it basically ends. Oh, Rollie. With tears in the eyes. And then it just goes on. So then on the next episode, it kind of looks like we're going back for the post-op. It looks like we're going back for the post-op to see what's going on, basically the drainage and all of those good things. It looked like she's going to be even more dramatic than she was this first episode. She was good this first episode, but we're about to see what this next episode is about to bring. As she... I don't know, I just feel like Rollie about to give us real dramatic. But I feel like it's a good little show overall. The first episode was good. I think it's a good insight on the procedure and everything, and what she went through for the procedure and her process to get the procedure. I think I find nothing wrong with the fact that she wants to get the surgery, so that she can look better and feel better for herself at the end of the day. I mean, it's her body, her money, her want. She can do what it is that she want to do, and she did just that. I see nothing wrong with it now. You can't be going around bashing other women though and body shaming other women when you didn't do it the natural way. You went and got nipped and tucked. And so, like I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with going and get nipped and tucked. But, you know. But anyway, her procedure went well. First episode was good. We already now see Rollie. Rollie got that body done now. That stomach, everything is snatched now. She actually looks good. She also got her teeth done, y'all. She got her teeth done, and she looked even better, like in the face. The teeth really like brought out the beauty in her face. So she really looks pretty, and she still looks like a plus size woman, but of course with a smaller waist, flatter stomach. She got her hips and she got her bigger ass. That's all she ever wanted. So I see absolutely nothing wrong with it. Rollie looks good now. She looks good. And can't nobody tell Rollie nothing. Okay? That's what Rollie said. Rollie said, get you hoes to me nothing. Nothing. That's what Rollie said. And I know. So make sure y'all go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Don't just come on over here just to view or click in and click out. I'm gonna need y'all to like, share, and subscribe.